I'm a paranoid schizophrenic and I smoke weed. It helps with the voices sometimes. But what helps the most is talking about it. Except when you tell someone you have schizophrenia, you start to get the same looks as if you told them you had AIDS or leprosy. It's this look of disdain they don't mean to give, but you notice it. They always find ways to end the conversation, probably afraid that the voices will tell me to kill them. I don't know. Life has been far from normal or easy. There are times when what I think is reality never happened. Times when I think someone is talking about me just because they looked in my direction and the choir in my head confirmed it. And they even told me what they were talking about. There are times like now while I'm recording this episode at nearly 3 o'clock in the morning because it is so loud in my head that I can't sleep, that I've seen a car drive by 3 times in 15 minutes, and automatically my brain is telling me that I need to be on alert because that car is stalking this house. There are times when I know for a fact someone said something from the other room, only to find out when I ask what was said that not a word was spoken. Do you know what it's like to walk into a Walmart or anywhere in public and immediately have to leave because it feels like every eye is on you? Like someone got on the loudspeaker as you were walking in saying, "Hey, everyone, look at this dumbass walking through the door." Or just refusing to go out with friends because you can't stop looking over your shoulder, waiting to catch that one person you know was sent to spy on you. At a certain point, people just stop inviting you because you always cancel at the last moment because your brain says to cancel. And the one thing I wish those friends understood was it's not them, it's me. Well, my brain, but instead of me asking and instead of my dumb brain allowing me to articulate what's wrong, I just isolate because why not? They already think you're a flake. They only invite you because they pity you. That's what I hear over and over by 100 different voices until I just let it go from my mind. I'm paranoid schizophrenic, but I promise I won't hurt you, regardless of how Hollywood likes to portray me. In fact, I love people more than I love myself. I care for others' safety and well being more than my own. I'm paranoid schizophrenic. That means I will help anyone who needs it while denying myself the help I need because no one's going to believe you. And if you do tell someone, they won't give a shit.
You are listening to That's Life, a One Love Media production.
When it comes to schizophrenia, the stigma surrounding this condition often causes more pain than the diagnosis itself. This stigma manifests in various forms, deeply affecting how individuals with schizophrenia are perceived and treated by those around us. I believe it is imperative to unpack the layers of misunderstanding that overshadow the realities of living with schizophrenia. See, schizophrenia is frequently misinterpreted with a pervasive narrative that frames us as dangerous or unpredictable. This misconception is not only inaccurate, but also detrimental. In reality, the majority of us with schizophrenia are not violent. We are ordinary people navigating a complex world that often fails to understand us. For many, simply acknowledging our illness opens a chasm between us and those we care about. When you share your diagnosis, you can almost feel the atmosphere shift. Friends and family, often out of fear or ignorance, may recoil as though they are in the presence of a threat. This fear, rooted in societal stereotypes, changes how we are treated and viewed entirely, reinforcing a sense of isolation. Hollywood plays a significant role in perpetuating this stigma. The film industry tends to depict schizophrenia in a sensationalized manner, often connecting mental illness with violent or grotesque behavior. Consider films like Split, which conflates mental illness with horror tropes, or Joker, which suggests that mental health is a justification for chaos. These portrayals create a narrative that conditions audiences to view individuals like me as dangerous, rather than as human beings with complex emotions and struggles. Furthermore, comedies like Me, Myself, and Irene trivialize our reality, turning our diagnosis into a source of humor rather than empathy. The harm of such misrepresentations extends far beyond entertainment. They hurt our credibility, dampen public understanding, and hinder our ability to engage with the world. Where are the films that depict the realities of living with schizophrenia? Stories that honor those of us who work diligently each day to maintain normalcy while wrestling with the internal battles. We need more portrayals of individuals who may appear withdrawn, not due to disdain for socializing, but rather due to a nagging sense of unworthiness stemming from our condition. Misrepresentation in media is not just a matter of artistic freedom. It carries profound implications for the understanding and acceptance of mental health issues in society. The truth is, those of us dealing with schizophrenia are not inherently dangerous. We are not villains. We are just trying to carve out our space in the world, despite the added challenges of stigma. The real danger lies within the ignorance and the fear that society holds, and it is through the understanding and empathy that we can bridge this gap. Navigating relationships with family can be one of the most challenging aspects of living with schizophrenia. For many of us, our families are supposed to be our support systems, the ones who uplift us during our darkest times. But often this isn't the case. How many times have I faced dismissals like, "You're making that up," or "Just take your meds." These phrases seem innocuous on the surface, but they carry emotional weight that deepens our feelings of isolation and invalidation. These comments don't merely brush aside our experiences, they actively stifle our voices. When someone you trust dismisses your feelings, it resonates deeply and creates a narrative that we're not entitled to express our pain or confusion. It can seem like well intentioned advice, but it often misses the mark. How many times have I heard someone suggest a yoga class or a positive mantra as though these quick fixes could erase the complexity of my mental health? While mindfulness and alternative therapies can be beneficial, implying that these are one-size-fits-all solutions undermines the challenges we face in grappling with our conditions. True empathy requires more than surface-level understanding or platitudes. It demands patience and a willingness to truly listen. It requires an acknowledgement that mental health isn't a linear journey. Some days are way better than others, and some days might feel insurmountable. This reality deserves respect and careful understanding. For individuals like me who confront the turmoil of schizophrenia, we need more than simplistic solutions. What we crave is a dialogue rich in understanding and compassion, where it's okay to be vulnerable without the fear of being brushed off as a burden. This complexity is what makes engaging with our families so critical. They can be our strongest allies or create barriers that push us further into isolation. Are they equipped with the language to discuss our experiences? Do they know how to react in ways that encourages open communication, or do they resort to leaving us feeling pushed aside? These dynamics can change the trajectory of our mental health journey, influencing not only how we view ourselves, but also how we interact with the world. Ultimately, having a support system that encourages open dialogue, validation, and understanding can make all the difference. Isolation is often painted as a choice, a deliberate decision to withdraw from social interactions. However, for those of us who deal daily with schizophrenia, isolation frequently feels like a compulsion rather than a conscious decision. There's an internal battle that rages, a voice that insists we're a burden to those who we care about. This incessant whisper, mingled with paranoia, fuels our tendencies to retreat at the very moments when we want connection the most. And those whispers become louder and louder the longer that we isolate, telling us that we are no good, making us isolate more when what we need to do is be in front of people. But when social invitations come our way, the thought of attending can quickly turn into a tug of war. The desire to connect clashes with the invasive voices that encourage us to cancel plans, reinforcing the idea that others might not want us around. The irony is that we are often more concerned about how our presence will affect others rather than about our own needs or feelings. We constantly say, "It's okay if you can't. It's okay if you don't need me to do this. It's okay if you need to spend time by yourself." Because we're more afraid of being a burden to that person's plans than we are about actually needing human connection. Those whispers tell us that our mere existence is a burden, making isolation feel not like a choice, but an escape route from an overwhelming world. And far too often, that is why people with schizophrenia take their lives, because they become so isolated and feel so alone. And the only way to get out of that feeling is through death. And I will be the first to sit here and say that that is not selfish, because you will never understand the feeling unless you go through it yourself. And I'm not vouching for suicide. Do not quote me on that. I am saying that I understand why they did it. Moreover, there are moments when I attempt to articulate my thoughts, trying to express what I feel inside. I know I need to share something important, but as I strive to voice it, I feel the words slip through my fingers like sand. My thoughts get clattered amidst an internal symphony, drowning out my ability to communicate effectively. It's not that I lack the words, rather, the noise in my head is so overpowering that I lose my grip on my message. The frustration and fear build up, leading to a cycle where I either say nothing or ramble incoherently, making me feel incompetent, like I am incapable of expressing my thoughts clearly. Each time I step away from a conversation, it's not out of anger or malice. It's a retreat from my own fears. It's a decision fueled by the belief that if I stay, I'll only expose myself to more judgment for my inability to articulate feelings properly. The cycle resonates with many of us, and it reinforces the isolation we already feel. The voices that shape our self-perception can be relentless. They create a barrier that feels insurmountable, but every so often, pushing against these forces is essential. Understanding that we aren't alone in this challenge, that many wrestle with the same internal battles, can spark a sense of connection even during the most isolating moments. If you're still listening, thank you. As I stand here openly sharing that I am a paranoid schizophrenic, I am aware that this declaration carries weight. It's not a mark of shame. It is a testament to my resilience, to me confronting stigmas head on. Yet within this openness lies a vulnerability. The fear of dying alone amidst the chaos of my thoughts. There are countless there are countless nights when I found myself crying, wishing for a listening ear or a comforting shoulder to lean on, only to be met by the unsettling whisper in my mind that insists nobody would understand anyways. This journey often feels like an uphill battle. At times, shouting, "Shut the hell up!" into the void can provide a fleeting sense of relief, even if it doesn't solve the underlying issue. In a public space, expressing this frustration can serve as an unexpected form of liberation, if even for a moment. And when confronted with the curious gaze of onlookers, I can embrace the moment with the truth and say, I have schizophrenia. That way, I don't have to worry about anybody bothering me. I want to make this known that this is not a cry for pity. It is a quest for understanding. Understanding that transcends the surface level platitudes we often hear. If even one person resonates with these words, finding solace in knowing they are not isolated in their struggles, then I guess this journey wasn't just my own. If one friend learns how to engage more compassionately, to listen without wanting to fix, then there is a step forward. Through sharing my experience, I hope to illuminate the complexities of living with schizophrenia, fostering empathy not just for myself, but for all of those navigating the intricate layers of mental illness. Together, we can dismantle the stigma, embrace our truths, and forge connections that affirm our shared humanity. Thank you for listening. As we come to the end of season 1, I want to take a moment to say a heartfelt thank you. Thank you to every listener, every person who's shared their thoughts, their stories, and their hearts with me. This season has been nothing short of a journey, one that I couldn't have taken without you. Your support, your feedback, your connection have been the fuel that has kept me going. And also, I want to say a major thank you to Mary Rodriguez for just taking everything that made my story me and putting it into a script and helping me to be able to tell my story to everybody else, and for all of the incoherent rumblings and weird notes that had nothing to do with anything this whole season. Thank you for sticking by my side, and I look forward to season 2 and beyond with you. And most of all, thank you for allowing me to share some of my own truth with you. But don't go too far, because season 2 is coming, and it is going to be a ride. We're kicking off with a 2-part deep dive into the powerful, painful, and often misunderstood topic of addiction. From the experience of the addict to the impact on families and communities, We're going to tackle it all. It's real, it's raw, and I am beyond excited to take you on this next chapter with me. So stay tuned, keep listening, and get ready for a new season to unfold. And as always, until next time, do you, but do it with love and affection. I'm Kyle Fields, saying goodbye to season 1. That's life.
That's Life is hosted by Kyle Fields and written by Mary Rodriguez. Editing and production by One Love Media. All rights reserved. Like what you heard? Join the conversation. Follow us on social media and be part of the That's Life community. Want exclusive content? That's Life Members Lounge is now available for just $5 a month on Patreon. Get access to special episodes, expert interviews, and even request topics for future shows. Sign up at patreon.com/OneLoveFLA. And don't forget to check out our other shows. The Survivors series, new episodes every Wednesday. Sunday Evening Reset, a powerful way to end your weekend, streaming every Sunday night. See you next week for another episode of That's Life.